should have had these Brazilian fans
Right.
because they would defend you. They would defend everything you say. Listen, I agree with you 100%. Brazil has the talent, the individual talents, but Brazil is not a good team, not at all.
Yep.
Because
And
if you see actually in the South American region, the past few games, I think Colombia, Argentina, I think Uruguay, all these teams have been better than Brazil in the past few years when it comes to wins and losses.
uh-huh.
So I think because of the history of Brazil, we know that they've been a superpower for so long. So some of the fans they kind of accept the fact that they're just not the same team, man.
Yep.
They're just not a good team at all. They have the talent, but they're not a good team.
Right. So I have one question before we get out, bro. Who's the sleepers in this tournament, in the Copa America?
Let me see. I'm looking at the teams here. Do United States count or no?
I mean, like whoever you think is the sleepers. I don't think United. I think
Nice,
United
nice,
States.
nice paper because people we expect them to win. I'm gonna say Uruguay.
Hmm. Uruguay
Ur-
is one of the top teams, though. So I don't know why would you want to think they're sleepers. I think Uruguay got a great.
Well, because I'm sure a lot of people are thinking, Argentina, Brazil, and maybe United States.
Well, after me personally, I'll pick Uruguay over Brazil, but that's a conversation for another day because
How
Brazilian
about,
fans when heard that.
how about Mexico? One thing we know that Mexico gonna have the best fans in the tournament
But Mexico has not been the same team in the past 5 years, bro.
because the United States has broken them.
Right now, Jamaica got a England rejects on the team, right? That's what I'm gonna call it, right? They do got some talents on the team, but also it's still Jamaica. It's not like
Wow,
they never had the players. They
you
just never
sure
put the puzzle together to
you
win.
sh- you sure we no respect to Jamaica, man?
Nah, I'm not saying I don't show that respect to them.
You say it's a full of England rejects.
They are England rejects, bro. Think about it. You got, like when you look at the Jamaican team, okay, right? Antonio, okay, Bell. You know, most of these guys play for West Ham, right? And he got some
Right.
play for Aston Villa, right? You know, and I know if England would have given them a shot in that roster, they would have made it. They would have
They
won.
would they want to play for England. That is true.
Right. So I mean, even there's a lot of players from African countries that should well. The old French roster.
Right.
But I think Jamaica, if Jamaica do put things together, right, if Jamaica show up
That's your
and
sleeper
play
team in Jamaica?
and play the way I expect them talent wise, and it's still Jamaica, bro.
But also
Oh,
Jamaicans.
disappointment.
There's millions of Jamaicans, probably the United States. How come they don't show up like the South American fans?
Because they believe they're gonna lose anyway. What's the point of going there, man?
Dude, man, every city, every state you've been to, there's Jamaicans everywhere.
Right.
You would think if Jamaica's playing would be like Mexico, like 90% of the fans are just they're screaming, going crazy. So so
Jamaica,
you so you pick
Jamaica.
Jamaica as your sleeper team?
No, I was just
Oh,
Jamaica out of it. But Jamaica is a dysfunctional as a lot of African nation teams, So that's my problem with them. But they do got the talent. I don't know if they're gonna put together. But I'll tell you what, though, who's my sleeper is though?
Canada. You say Canada.
No, Ecuador.
Ecuador, you think?
Yeah. Now the starting 11, you could say they got a move. Of course, they got a Casado to play for Chelsea. And they
Right.
got one of the most youngest talented players, Pereira, who Chelsea just signed, but he's still young, so he couldn't go there because he's not 18 yet. But I feel like if you just look at the starting 11, if they do keep themselves into games and they able to at least pull a goal or two in each game as they goes on, I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but I think they have a shot to make it to the knockout stage and make a noise based on seeing the way that they play. Because I'm not going to say Colombia because I believe Colombia is a great team. I believe that Uruguay is a great team. Argentina, United States. I think all these four teams is the top as the top dogs. I still put Brazil as fifth for some reason. I'm not.
Give me that list again.
I give Argentina, Uruguay, United States,
And Colombia.
Colombia, and Brazil fifth.
I
I
mean,
don't trust Brazil, man. I know they got Vinicius, they got
yeah.
great individual talent.
Oh,
Team wise, when you look at the midfield, even against United States, I think Mosa was bullying the midfield.
he was.
Midfield matters, bro.
You know what? I almost agree with you. It's just that Brazil, we know that they have the
It's the
talent.
name, bro. It's the
It's
name. It's
you
the
probably
name.
you're probably right.
Let's
It's
look at the players today.
it is
Ronaldinho,
high.
the same thing. Like he doesn't even see it. And this is guy that grew his whole life representing Brazil. You know what I mean? The guy that actually made guys like me fall in love with this game. You know what I mean? Like when you look at Brazil, it's the name. The
Right.
name,
So
yes, the name matters. Yes, I know a lot of Brazilian fans. Hopefully, I mean, next time we'll have Uncle Joe over here, which he knows the history of Brazil way more than I do because he be watching this. But when you look at this
I
Brazil
know.
team, bro, we was watching against United States. I know it's just a friendly, yes, and I also see them last World Cup, and I also see them play the other time. They individually, Vinicius Rodriguez, all these guys are great individually. But collectively, when you look at Brazil from the midfield going on, even the defense, how does this Brazil team even compete against teams like Argentina? How does the Brazil team jump into Europe in the World Cup and says, you know what, we still the Brazil? I don't see it. I see pretty boys, bunch of TikTokers and Instagram models. That's what I see. Vinicius, don't get me wrong, man. I think he's a great player when he put the Real Madrid jersey on. On the
But
Brazil,
yeah, but also you gotta remember that game against United States, it was only a few days after the team got together. They got some players that but just play the Champions League, I guess. So everybody just arrived in America, and maybe you gotta give them that excuse saying they just came together a few days. Now they've had a few couple weeks now to mesh together. So maybe we'll see in the next few days when they play their first game.
And that's one
Maybe
of
they'll
the
be better.
and that's one of the reasons why I'm talking about it as a team. The United States even have better chemistry and more experience playing together than Brazil. When you look at this
True.
Brazil team, it's like every other match I'm seeing names that are like, who the hell is this guy playing with them? You know what I'm saying? Like you, who really Brazil? What player, what defender or midfielder really Brazil is actually producing today in today's world football? They got a bunch of wingers that know how to score. They can't defend if their life depends on it.
You, yep, you know what? You're right about that. They have a lot of strikers, and they have the talent. They have a lot of skillful players, but maybe it's coaching too. Just like we for the United States, maybe the coaching is not there. And I know it's Brazil and Argentina. They love to have local coaches. They don't like going to other countries picking up coaches. And
Right. True.
I don't know who's the current if the current coach is Brazilian or not. But
Yeah.
I mean, well, we're
Bro,
gonna sit down.
you could look at a stat all you want with Brazil right now, right? Like, don't get me wrong. If Brazil have an opportunity, 90% of the chance they're gonna finish it. Don't get me wrong with that. But can they stop other teams from scoring?
You said 90%. Why they had a opportunity against the United States? They didn't finish.
Most of the times, you know what I'm saying, they do got great finishers. They could score goals. They could score the bangers. They could score some unbelievable, crazy. They know how to place the ball. Don't give it like that. That's okay. But who are they gonna stop from the
Right.
midfield? When you're talking about Argentina, even right now, Ecuador, I feel like I'll take Ecuador's midfield over Brazil.
Huh? You think?
Name a Brazilian midfielder right now. Okay, Pakistan. All right. Who else?
You say who else? Listen. Okay. I mean, so the good news for Brazil, they open up with Costa Rica. So that's the good news. First of all, they play Costa Rica. Uh, and they're gonna play at SoFi Stadium in LA. So they're gonna. I don't know if they're gonna
Like
fill up the
Brazil.
stadium, but
Brazilian.
I mean, I can't argue with the Brazilian midfield. They haven't produced great midfielders the past few years, but maybe because of the level of talent they have up front, they don't need a strong midfield as other teams do because they have so many skilled players everywhere. So
Right.
when they play lesser teams, they can get away with not having a strong midfield. But when they play really good teams like Argentina or Colombia and Uruguay, they might maybe that might come back and bite them. Just like when they play again. United's midfield is definitely better than Brazil. Why in that game it was better than Brazil. I don't want to say it's always better, but in that game they were better than Brazil. Um, I mean, you're right, but but like you say, it's just the name, man, Brazil. It's so hard for us to accept that Brazil is not good anymore because I mean, it's
Because
Brazil.
the reason why I'm not, it's not hard for me to accept, because I've been saying this is Nemo was see Nemo showed up. You know, I never really grown up as a kid, especially like from the '90s coming to the early 2000s watching Brazil. I never really see the Brazil team only depends on the one player. When you look at Brazil, Brazil's always been a team that has all around. When you talk about the Robert Carlos, the Cafus, the Rivaldos, the Ronaldinos, the big Ronaldo, all these players comes in there. They just connect. Kaká coming in, bro. Like these guys connect to the depth for every true sport fans to say, "Wow, look at how loaded this team is in every position." Now today, Brazil, man, when you think about, okay, Marquinhos still playing defense. Okay, he's freaking probably 100 years old. All right. So you go on, but then who's the defensive midfielder that's gonna be in front of him to protect to even start the protection for these center backs? You know, who could go down the line with Brazil? I don't get me wrong. I'm not saying Vinicius is not a top notch. Vinicius is a top notch player. You know, we've seen what he did in Real Madrid, Champions League, and all that.
Right.
But outside of that, though, like Allison, a great goalkeeper. Okay, you know, the Bruno guy, kid, whatever his name is. I'm not even a huge fan of the guy. A lot of basically don't know him like that. But when you go down the list to every other team, when you combine Brazil and every other roster, like the chemistry or the longevity as these teams is playing together, just like the experience alone matters. You know, when Ronaldinho made that comment, I know he made that comment because he's coming from he. I heard some people criticize the way he's still proud of stuck in the past. But dude, he was just saying that he doesn't see the passion.
How about Neymar? Neymar still hurt? What's going on with Neymar?
Not a
You don't,
fan. So
you don't even know where to start from.
no, I don't know what to start with that guy, man. Great talent. Great talent. Great. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one, man. United States, man. Soccer in the United States. Soccer has been growing in the United States. Nobody
Yes,
can
sir.
compete with, complain about that. Even the
Yeah,
women sports, everything else is coming in, man. The world
yeah,
football
man.
is really
Yeah, man.
coming to the United
I
States. It's gonna be
I
huge.
I wish me and you were just on the road, just covering this, like watching every single game. It
That
would be
would
so,
be
we do it, man. It would be so crazy, man.
but dude, like, but I mean that
One day.
man, now we don't got no excuse, man. We could plan this thing ahead. World Cup 2026
What cup do, man? We'll be in
around the corner.
Atlanta. We'll be in